Have y'all ever been raked across the coals? It is very hot and uncomfortable because I have been raked across the coals.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, Lee.
My little lady in red.
Yeah.
Do you know that used to be one of my favorite songs?
Of course, that's the
Can you sing
cheesiest
it?
song
ever. I am a ballad girl, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Is that an 80s thing, being a ballad girl?
No, it's a me thing.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's if it's a ballad.
You could still love a ballad.
Oh.
You know, give me 3 great ballad singers. Go.
None.
Celine Dion.
Oh, God. And I can't, okay, I know she's great, and God bless her. She's having some issues, but, ew. Okay, go ahead. Next.
We don't have to name anymore, but I'm just a sucker. Lady
You are.
in Red. And who knew when I was younger
Lady in Red.
singing that song that it would be you?
Do you know what I think? Lady in Red. That would be like, do you remember the Ramada Inns of the 70s? They would have like the nastiness in the bar with the shit on the floor.
I was not going to a bar.
It seems like they were
70s.
slow dancing to the Lady in Red. Anyway.
No, I was born in 79, so I don't remember the Ramada
I keep forgetting about
of the
whole
70s.
generational difference between us.
But hey, we still have a lot in common.
Yeah, we do.
How you doing, hot stuff?
I'm good.
Good.
You?
I'm good, I think. Who knows? I'm great. No, I'm great. Happy to be here. What we're going to talk about today is an interesting topic that can go a lot of different directions, but we kind of went ding, ding, ding after last week's recording. We just started to kind of have a group discussion after it. And our producer, Kristen, who y'all know well now, she goes, Liz, you're the perfect example of like what the patriarchy is so afraid of.
Wow.
Right? Like you are the example of like what they would like to squash.
Which is?
You know, a woman who has not given away any of her power.
Right.
You have taken it, you've reclaimed it. We said that, you know, you don't need men for
validation,
for
checking account,
money,
sex,
protection.
I think the beauty of if the real men would like me, because if I like you for who you are. And if you happen to be a man, well done.
Yeah, so it's kind of exploring all those things about ourselves that
Wait a
we
minute, you
let.
forgot the whole lesbian part. You forgot the whole same-sex relationship part.
That's huge.
This is a big
That's threatening.
threat to the patriarchy.
Right.
And the patriarchy meaning the ones that have really gone off the deep end patriarchy.
Right, and it's a woman that is desirable because of many, many things, of your strength, of your success, of your personality, who you are inside out, that when you've chosen a woman instead of a man, that's kind of a ding. It's kind of a oops.
Yeah, that was funny. That's an interesting thing. Yeah, I guess that would be. Well, I don't want to be threatening because I do love men.
No, and I don't think.
But I don't need them.
Right.
And they don't need me necessarily. You know, we don't have to validate each other and need each other in order to have relationship and love, actually, communion.
And that's why this is going to be good to explore because I may be a little needy for you. So maybe we should talk about it.
Okay, let's talk. I like that.
Yes.
So far, we're going really well in this podcast. Starting out with needy for me. Okay.
I know. But you are not threatening, I don't think, as a person at all. But the idea of someone like you who doesn't need somebody else to be the truest sense of who you are, I think is really important. And what I am saying is that we don't all not need each other, right? The goal is not to, you know, need the other species or sex. The goal is for us all as individuals and humans to not give ourselves away to someone else in the realm of power. If we all, relationships or non-relationships, quit giving our power away, then we would be our truest selves together and probably better together.
Right. And we do need each other.
Yes.
As in the positive sense of the word.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think we're a lot of ways. I mean, are we going down the lane of relationships and giving away power, or sometimes just yourself, the way you give your power away to other people, whether you're in a relationship with them or not? Because our needs for being validated.
Yes.
Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? You know, have I got it? Am I enough? And we look outside of ourselves for that. We're all guilty of it, me included. And every time I find myself at peace, I'm validating it through my own knowledge of who I am. And the courageous and the powerful people, they really do own that power. And they also know that doesn't mean they're great. That just means they're okay with themselves, and they're going to be okay or more than okay with you.
Right. It's less ego. It's more settled, more balanced. I love the term peaceful, knowing that you're not having to constantly think about everything you're saying, doing, believing because of what someone else thinks about you. And as humans, one of the most common things I think that we all need and want is approval, is to be loved. And so finding a nice balanced way to feel loved for who we are without just seeking that external validation. And so we got to start with ourselves.
Yeah, so we start, and so I think you've got a good point. You
Thanks.
You need a lot of validation.
I do.
I do too. I need less the older I get, but it's lovely to get it. It's really lovely. God, who doesn't want validation? Who doesn't want somebody to pat you on the back and go, great job, look how well you're doing or being or saying things. But we're not going to be happy with ourselves unless we aren't. But back to you, this is a thing that is sort of a recurring challenge for you. I know it is, because I have to... I get in trouble
constantly
all the time, all day long. And I'll go, God, you look really good today. Well, I look good today? Like, boy, did I look like shit yesterday?
Right.
I mean, you were really touchy.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
And I can't, see, because I'm not there, I'm not in your head all the time. I should be by now, but I forget.
Well, I'm giving that part of myself away
Yeah,
because there's something in there that is me not feeling good about myself in whatever way, whether that's just words that go around in my head, whether or not I believe them or not. If it's a practice that I've been doing for 45 plus years, it's just my trigger. And so what I'm doing is projecting my insecurity on what you're saying instead of just taking the fucking compliment.
Right.
Right? I'm just going, wait, I'm going to take apart the way that you said that and the way you glinted your eyes. And why am I doing that?
It's habit. And I think in order to change your habits, I mean, basically, there's some simple things you could do. Self-mantras, things you say to yourself. Maybe you just have to wake up in the morning and go, I am all that I need. I am all that I need. I am all that I need. And
do you do that specifically?
I don't do that one specifically.
Well, no, not that one.
No. But every morning I do the thing in my head, especially on a morning, honestly, like this, where I just didn't sleep well, and I had to come straight up into gratitude. And I do that, and to me, that's an affirmation of that I'm okay.
Right.
A gratitude that I am in this body. I mean, I could be in all kinds of bodies, right?
I know.
And an affirmation that I have made the choices, and I'm grateful for the freedom and the choices I have to make these choices. And so if I quit being grateful every day, those choices could be taken away at any point anyway.
Sure.
Or people could try. Good luck. Yeah, I do it that way. So, I mean, I think, honestly, people go, oh, you need to meditate and you need to do all these things. I think just affirmations.
Right.
If you see that trigger coming into your consciousness, like, she's looking at me with that funny look and she just thinks I look bad, but she's going to say I look good or whatever you think.
Sure.
Just go, there it is again. There it is again. And with me, you can always say, I'm feeling this way.
Yeah, and I do.
And a person that really cares about you, you can do that. But if you're doing that with a perfect stranger or even a casual friend, maybe just go, I am whatever it's going to be for you. Maybe you should just go, I am glamorous, I'm gorgeous, I'm all those things.
I do probably need to start doing that. Maybe the scribbling in a little gratitude journal, because I do have gratitude for who I am as a human. And, over time and age, that has increased a lot, especially having children and wanting to be a good role model of that self-acceptance for them. But until I can accept myself.
But again,
then
you are challenged for the patriarchy too. And again, we talk about this a lot. The patriarchy doesn't have to be men. It's just the patriarchal thought of, power over, like the patriarchy needs to have dominant male energy power over feminine power. And so you're a threat just by thinking on your own, really.
That's true.
Because we're living in a time now where people would like to tell you how you're supposed to feel and tell you how you're supposed to worship.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another huge part of giving your power away. It's not only, am I seeking approval outside of myself? It's what am I allowing other people to control as far as my emotions, my beliefs, all of those systems.
And how about society? And how about the way? Let's talk about the body image stuff, because we were talking about this before the podcast.
Prior to the podcast, we were having a discussion with our producer.
Okay, you
talking
set it
about
up.
certain movements in society that pigeonhole people,
Right.
kind of, and help force them to give their power away, like this body positivity movement. So if someone is promoting, living in a bigger body, and so there's a wave of support and people who connect to that, and then say that person, whether it's, a friend or an influencer or a content creator, decides for themselves that they need to lose weight, they're getting raked across the coals for doing that and leaving this body positivity movement. And for me, that's just kind of mind-blowing that we are in a space of so much, what you said, judgment.
Judgment, right. First of all.
About someone else's behavior.
Right. Or about
Freedom.
Yeah, freedom to decide I'm going to be in the body I choose. If I choose to be in a larger size body and I feel healthy and I just like who I am, they get to do that. But you don't, and let people judge you. Just let them, but also let that just go, because that is them, right? So I don't understand. She was saying somebody was like judging somebody for losing weight. That's intensely insane. I mean,
that's a very obvious example of projection.
Yeah, but also, can we just get a grasp on reality here?
No, we are not living in reality.
I
don't know how.
People get to decide. And if you feel healthy and good and you are not sick and chronically ill and nothing is going wrong and you love your body, whether it's larger or smaller, then you're good to go. And I don't care what anybody tells you.
That's exactly right.
Friends, organizations, social media, let it just go over you, past you, through you, right out the other side. Because that is nonsense, and that is projection.
It is projection, and I understand it, even though I hate it.
Yeah.
Or I do hate it for people that they have to be, period, raked across the coals for anything, right? We're not in
Have y'all ever been
community.
raked across the coals? It is very hot and uncomfortable, because I have been raked across the coals. It's a good
it's an
term.
easy term.
It's very apt.
Very vivid.
Yeah, it's
right?
very good.
Okay, let's just go directly to social media. It's platform to a little bit show off, B, to garner attention, engagement, and likes. And so I understand why people are being a parts of movements and jumping aboard and finding some familiarity and some people who agree with you and feeding external validation. All of it is saying, you're with me. This is our group. This is my safe space. And everybody wants a group and that approval. But what we've done is taken away any real authenticity, because what I view on the platform I watch, Instagram, for example, is if you build who you are around your images and what you're wearing and what you're doing, and we're all succumb to this in ways, and you garner likes for that, then you're going to go, I think, down a slippery slope where you have to stay in this version of yourself that you've created, because if that got the likes, then you've got to do it. And you're completely giving away, in some cases, not all, I'm sure, but in some cases, giving away that power of who you are and who you can be, and that ability to change your mind or to grow or be curious. And then for people, the complete strangers to hop on after a decision you've made and go, oh, you are terrible because now you're not with us. And it's just bonkers to me.
Well, it's bizarre to me because I don't care.
Yeah, right.
I just don't care.
Right.
But can I just go back to showing off?
Yes.
Nobody's a bigger show off than
you.
But I own it. If I'm all dressed up, I'm gonna take pictures like you read about and put it on social media. And Lee's like, "Oh my God, how many pictures of you and me are you gonna put up?" I'm gonna put up 3. Watch this, but that's fun, But also know I still say it's from being back in the day, being an older model. You are not that's not who I am. Who I am is me. And I know who I am. And if I need to keep reminding myself that I'm not that glamorous. What?
I totally disagree.
Oh, I love that
That
part.
is
Let's
because
disagree.
then you're totally giving away your power to Instagram or the image of you. So to say that that's not really you, it is completely
I
you.
resent that statement.
No. Let's hash this out because what
let's
saying.
do.
No, what I'm saying is you completely are comfortable with getting dressed up, putting on the makeup, and taking photos. I, on the other hand, am not.
That's true.
At all. So you are being true to yourself if you're enjoying that.
Right.
And that is who you are because that is who you are. A model, a fitness professional, a strong, beautiful woman.
Well, no, I'm not going in as any of that. I'm going in as I love to celebrate myself.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a show off. Y'all, we all need to admit we've got a part of ourselves that just want to say, hey, look at me. And then own that. Right?
Yes, but what you're putting out is your true self. You're not cultivating.
Exactly. We're not arguing anymore.
Yes, we never were, but we should clarify. You're not cultivating a picture that you think other people want to see and putting it out there. You're putting yourself out there. Therefore, you like taking pictures. Now, we know, don't like that version of me. I don't want to put it out there. So that's when I give my power away and go, let's do photos right now. That's why I'm always bitching, like, no, don't post that of me or whatever. So that's a small example.
Yeah, it is.
But,
it is.
Yeah,
but do you feel like you are having to, let's see, I don't know. Am I forcing you? I'm not quite sure.
No, that's why I do get fussy when we do.
Fussy.
When
That's another good Lee word. You're fussy.
When you want to post and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I'm interested in right now. I want to be present in the moment, and you're having a completely fun time being who you are.
Why can't we all just get a little dose of that? I'm going to come up with the perfect mantra. Oh, maybe it's be powerful. Because we all need to get comfortable. I don't care what size we are or what we're doing, but if we are really perfectly comfortable in our skin, I want us to show it off.
Why can't you just be comfortable in your skin?
Okay, then don't show it off. But show it off to your kids. Show it off to your husband, your wife. Be loud with who you are.
I see what you're saying.
Be loud. Don't be small. Don't be quiet.
I see what you're saying.
That's another thing the patriarchy hates. They hate loud. They hate bigness. And that's because you are too confident in yourself. So I'm not saying this is all about social media. I'm saying be big.
No, that makes so much more sense.
And large.
And for someone who doesn't necessarily like it in those terms, I still think I'm being large and loud without being that way.
I agree.
I don't know how to say that.
I agree, because who you are is different. Everybody's got a difference. And what you get to do, if you want to really protect yourself, is to, again, put the boundaries up that says, that's where I lose my comfort zone. My comfort zone is here. And I'm willing to come outside my comfort zone for certain things to grow and expand, but I am not coming out of my comfort zone to placate or please
somebody else,
other people, because they think I'm supposed to be thus and so. You know, we all get led around by our noses a lot. There's such a pack. It's a pack mentality right now in America. Like you're either with us or you're with them. You have to be one of the other.
Yeah.
And the individuals that are stepping out of that are the ones that are shining. And you can see those people that do it. And just like you could do it in a friend group, you see those people that shine, that can be I've got these 4 groups of people, but I shine on my own, or we got to own our power. That's the whole point of this whole life I'm in. That's why I came here.
Yeah.
I want to own my power. I have found a way to do it by simply letting go of other people's, boy, I hate to say these things, like needs.
I know.
I want to help people that need me.
And you do
but
on a daily basis.
I want to help myself first so that I can be the better helper
of course.
Those in need. So
yeah.
My whole job in life is to teach people their power.
Right. And thinking about this more and kind of the notes we've made and the words we're using, I'm like, fuck, I really am giving it away. I'm really giving it away.
Let's go through some examples.
Well, there's another one that's like, you put others' needs before your own. And I do that a lot. And it's about exploring why. Now, there's a great portion of that I'm proud of, that is just who I am as a personality. So therefore, I'm not giving the power away if that feels good to me to help other people and to put their needs as a priority.
Right.
But when I don't put my needs
first,
then that's a problem. And so I've got to really watch.
And the people that love you suffer.
Wow.
Just saying.
She's really helping me out right here.
Yeah.
No.
But you are. I think you nailed it. Your power is that you're a nurturer. That's who you are.
Right. And so how do I nurture without?
Easily. The way you do it, just beautifully. I hope you're giving yourself the credit that you are due for being who you are right now, as opposed to who you were a few years ago.
Yes, but there's still a long way to go.
Sure.
And I think that's the case for everybody. And I know that especially as women, and then if you become a mother, you immediately give your power away.
Do you think men worry about this?
You just interrupted me.
I'm sorry.
I'm not going to give my power away. Let me finish my thought.
Keep going.
But that's a good question. It's easy when you let everybody else's needs as you go through familial life with children. You have to. A baby comes out and has nobody else but you.
That's true.
And you do have to feed it and clothe it and home it. And so then we get in that pattern, and sometimes we can't let go. And when we recognize that it's a better pattern and process to not put their needs first every time, that helps them learn how to not give their power away too. And so it's a balance, I think, your beautiful word of nurturing versus, just putting other people before you is so important. But go to the men. Do they think about this?
I thought of something else, but yeah, no, men don't think about this stuff at all. They just,
oh God, that's not fair.
I don't, okay, maybe you do. And by the way, I just did a huge, big, and all men are the same thing.
Yeah.
And I apologize to each and every one of you guys that are all going, F you. I agree. Many men don't question, am I good enough? Now, they are going to question that when they're walking onto a football field or into a boardroom where they've got bosses to, but they work it out. They're not as...
It's a little stereotypical. I'm worried that's a little stereotypical.
I'm going to stay out of the way from them because that's the
you
last
don't know.
thing
Right,
I know.
we don't know. Let's
Last
talk
thing
from
I know.
our opinion.
Yeah. But men seem to worry a lot less than women do about other people's opinions of them.
Sure.
I think I can say that safely for most men. And most women, including me. I mean, I have maybe 1 or 2 people in the world that it matters what you think of me.
Of course.
It really matters. And if I think that I'm disappointing you, I will feel horrible,
Yeah.
So, but that is not to say that I need to be a part of some group that has this group thought, As a matter of fact, that's the other reason I came to Earth, is to not be in those things. I mean, I've always been a rebel to that. I'm like, this is insane. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, and the more and more we talk about this, it just makes so much sense that this is your workout and this is your motto and be powerful. It's just not something you've really it's not something you naturally struggle with, all these things. I mean, another term like self-criticism, shit, playing the victim, not having boundaries. Like I've played a lot of that. One thing that I am much better at that I think has always just been a part of me is my intuitive nature. Like I've been able to listen to my gut, and especially I think of our relationship.
Yeah.
You know, if we look back on that, even though it wasn't going to be easy, I just knew that you were for me in whatever way, shape, or form that was. And no matter what anybody else thought, that was my intuition.
That's pretty interesting. You
with
can
it.
pick and choose. You know, you pick these big fights, the ones that are going to like screw everybody up.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, nothing to it. But you worry about somebody that not like in the color of your shirt or something. So that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't really worry about that anymore either. No, like I've pretty much let go of what other people think of me. I mean, you just kind of have to at this point.
So what would you tell you in order to be more whole? Because people want to go, well, how can I quit trying to be, you know, I don't even like this friend group I'm in. You know, they're just mean to me, or they're mean to everybody else. I know they're mean to me behind my back or something.
Sure. I mean, I think the first thing is you have to decide, understand what are your values, what do you believe, who you are. You know, I mean, I think it's very easy to see like our yin and yangness.
Right.
We know who we are, and we're allowed to express that.
Another
with each
question.
other.
What are they going to do if you're in one of these mega churches? And because I am a Christian
Here
at
we
heart,
go.
I'm sorry, it's got to be said. And everybody is telling you the way you should think about the Word of God. How do you stand apart from that?
If you're participating and finding joy in that in your life, then I don't think there's a problem. I think that's you saying to that group, like,
Well,
don't you see that you're...
What I would think is happening in these cases is that people are so comforted that they have someone that's saying, hey, we got you. We've got the answers. We know we've got you. All you've got to do, I know it feels uncomfortable, but you know, the devil has many ways. And those kind of conversations, I'm seeing one of the real problems in America is Christianity, nationalism. And I'm sorry I went there, but it is a perfect example of giving your power away. And Jesus Christ in his teachings did not speak of giving your power away. He wanted you to be like him.
I get it.
And so when you start doing that, you know, when you start falling for that, I just want us to all just step aside now and then. I do it all the time because I'm thinking something. I'm going, that could be totally crazy. And just go, who is this serving? Is this serving somebody's power, need for power, or is it serving me? And that's where you've got to put yourself first.
Right. I mean, I think that goes along with the curiosity and challenge, whether it is a political, religious, friend group, work group, whatever it is, whatever you're being told, do you have curiosity about it? Are you learning about it?
Right.
Are you thinking, what's the other side of the coin? Are you challenging yourselves and your beliefs? And then how does that feel in your gut and your soul? Are you following along? Or is this really what you personally believe? Are we doing what everybody else is telling us to do? Or ourselves? That's tricky, but I think it goes across the board for everything.
Yeah. Getting back to power over and all that sort of thing. One of the things when you think about men is men work from some men, again, we cannot go to all men. Let's talk about the patriarchal energy. That can be women or men in body, okay? But the energy of the patriarchy says that there's not enough. It's a lack of abundance. So if this guy gets this job, it's taking that job away from me. So I've got to make sure I've got power over him, whether it be another man or someone in, you know,
A minority, a woman.
Yeah. And
That
because
makes
there's
so much
not
sense.
enough. Now, when a woman has power, the patriarchy is, well, women always question because we're brought up to just, because we're brought up in the patriarchy, honestly. I'm writing a whole lot about that in my book because I grew up in the Southern Baptist Church. And women had no power, sort of like they're trying to take us back right now. But I watched the example of the women who showed their soft power in that congregation, number one being my mother. Trust me, she was the powerhouse. And she wielded power, and she was ostracized for it.
In what way?
Husband take care of your woman. Make sure it's interesting. My dad was the president of the deacon board. And this is a big deal, Baptists. I know y'all are all different religions. You probably don't know what I'm talking about. But it's like, it's the big patriarchy of the patriarchy. And the women had no actual voice in the Southern Baptist Church in the 1960s, 70s. They probably don't either now. I don't think they've got it very far here. And we would have these, I'm going to just jump here. We would have these business meetings about once a month. And I mean, of all things, this was the worst thing in my life, to have to sit as a kid.
You're talking about your family.
Yeah.
You're jumping in and out of the church and the dinner table, and I don't know where I am.
I'm sorry.
And what
my family,
generation.
My family was in church 4 days a week. Sunday, twice. Wednesday, once. Tuesday, GAs. That's a whole nother story. Meaning girls had to go learn the Bible so that we could open it at any part of the Bible, tell you the verse, chapter, and all that. I did that. I was also really lousy at it. But the point that I'm saying, women in power. My mother used to stand up in these business meetings, and my dad would just go, oh, shit. And she would thunder out Bible and verse why these men making these decisions were incorrect. Well, pretty much all the men told their wives not to go to Lib Clary's, Sunday school class because she was bad and a heretic or something. But they all did. Anyway, the point is women have always had to grovel for their seat at the table.
Right.
And when men see a woman stand up amongst any crowd with power, they are threatened because, again, they have this sense of a lack of abundance. It's this whole theory of there's only just so much to go around, and if you take that amount, that leaves less for me.
Sure.
When if you have the opposite, which I believe is the truth about the universe, and if anybody that has any sense knows this, I think, there's always more. There is so much. And for somebody to have something doesn't mean it takes away from you. No. And I think I witnessed that in that church setting, but I'm witnessing that in our patriarchal system right now.
Right. Well, it makes sense to me that exactly why we've gotten here. If you have historically men having the pressure and the role to be the breadwinner, the primary breadwinner, and to come home, and the woman by nature, I think, as a more nurturing, multitasking individual, to be the physical one at this point, to be able to give birth, for those roles to be ingrained. And I get it. And it's interesting because not only then can women take care of the children and the family, and I feel bad for men who want to and feel like they can't, but now they can vote, and now they can have jobs, and now they can make a lot of money. So women can carry all of this, and what we need to do is really help men and boys learn how to nurture the feminine side of their personality, of the sensitivity, to make them, learn how to do everything as well. If we just say, be strong, be tough, don't cry, work hard, be a man, then they lose opportunity. But if we're empowering women and not empowering men, then it's going to always stay out of balance.
Well, you're seeing the most ineffectual, the most insecure, whiny men in charge now because they can't handle that.
Right.
You just made that point.
Yeah.
They can't look at a woman that is successful and, by God, she also has children. Wait a minute. Wait, what? And go, wow, well done.
Yeah.
And again, this is not necessarily men and women. The patriarchy thinks
Can we go one fucking episode without saying that word?
It feels like it's taking away. Like if you have that, right now they're trying to put women way back into the 19th century.
And so therefore, it's important that we, really take this inventory about how and when and why we're giving our power away. Mm-hmm. So that's the moral of the story. And it's those things that I need to continue to practice, to take responsibility kind of for my actions, to value my own beliefs, to figure out what they are, to seek internal, appreciation and validation, and not be somebody I'm not. not just, like you said, shrink, to be loud, to be proud, to be big.
Yeah.
No matter what that means or looks like.
Right, exactly. And in the last 50 years, women have done more and more and more and more of that. And that came to a tipping point for very insecure people that wanted to go back the way it was so that they didn't have to think about anything except themselves. So that's where we are, folks. And
Well, and I think it's good to remember this,
Yeah.
that's a really positive way to look at it. It's not taking other people's power away or having power over somebody else. It's not allowing your power to be stripped.
right, so when we find the balance again, or when the women are in charge, which is probably going to have to happen, we will allow you all to have power. Let's just take responsibility for who we are. Be compassionate to those that don't know who they are. When you're feeling yourself triggered or you want to give away your power because that someone will judge you, question, who does this benefit? Them or does it benefit me? The answer is not always going to be the same thing.
Right.
So just be curious, be on guard with your own self. We self-sabotage constantly.
All day.
And so just by saying, I am enough, is this what I'm getting from somebody else correct? You made the point a minute ago. Is it in my gut? Does it feel right? Women, especially I think women, are really adept at listening to their guts.
I hope so.
I think they are.
I know we get busy and sidetracked and are moving from one thing to the next, and it's hard to be present, but it doesn't take that much time. I mean, you said it very simply when we were working out at the end of class in a stretch. Close your eyes. I want you to feel this intuitively, not look at it, see it, but to really feel what's happening on the inside. So just taking quick, closed-eyed,
Really?
deep breaths.
Counting to 10, closing your eyes. That's true. Yeah.
And I know that taking it, into movement instead of thought, right? Like, what are you feeling right now? What can you touch and, physically ground? What do you see? Like taking the inventory of your senses and everything around you can like ground you from kind of floating away too high in the emotions and the thoughts.
Also a good point. All right. Well,
Let's go take a deep breath.
Let's just do all those things.
Okay.
And own your
I've
power.
got a lot to think about. This is good.
Yeah.
This is good.
All right. We're good.
Thank you, baby. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to us today, wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, you can now find our podcast on YouTube.
Yeah. If you liked it, please share, rate, and review. We love 5 stars. And we hope you'll work out with us online or in studio at HilliardStudioMethod.com.